My sister planned a family intervention to get me to leave my partner. This story came July 15th, 2025. I, 29 female, met my partner, 29 male, in 2020 while I was finishing my undergrad studies, and we were both in the same field. Our first conversations were deep about our personal philosophies, culture, faith, and our views on the world. And we quickly realized that our values aligned so well. He's funny, attentive, smart, talented, and ambitious, and I was so in love. And I still am. We made it official 2 months in. And low-key, we both knew we wanted to marry each other already, but of course we didn't rush as we were still finishing up school. We have the same religious background, but not the same ethnicity. And for that reason, both of us were nervous to tell our parents about our relationship because we didn't really know how they would react. Most ethnic parents would want their kids to keep it within the culture, but from what I know, they may be stubborn at first, but will come around eventually, right? For me, ethnicity is a non-issue. We're both religious, so having the same faith is important, in my opinion. I thought my parents would think the same, because if they're so religious too, then they shouldn't place their cultural values over their faith. Anyway, my partner didn't wait too long to tell his parents. They and his siblings were very supportive and they welcomed me with open arms. I, on the other hand, hesitated for the longest time because I really had no idea how my parents would react. I'm a bit fearful of them, and honestly, my relationship with my parents isn't that close. Of course, they're caring and all that, but not in an emotional way where I can come up to them and be vulnerable about something. Definitely not my dad. This is where I'm at fault, because even if it was hard for me to be honest with them, I should have just done so instead of hiding my relationship from them. My siblings knew before my parents. They didn't care, but my sister, 29, on the other hand, being the eldest, aka the third parent, was too panicked about it and advised me to just end the relationship because an interracial marriage is going to be complicated. But that's not the advice I needed, and I didn't want to just end the relationship either. I truly believe he's my soulmate. Her entire attitude towards it was kind of just like, I gave you my 2 cents, I don't want to be involved in any of this. I think it was a year into our relationship and my mom found a birthday card from my partner in my room. She found my stash of greeting cards from him and she read them all. She confronted me with them and she wasn't even mad. But when I told her about his ethnicity, she freaked out. She made me tell my dad and he just LOL'd in my face and didn't even let me talk. It took a couple of days for my mom to calm down because honestly, she really was overreacting. The conclusion was they ain't happy with the relationship and they wanted me to end it. I didn't want to, of course. It was swept under the rug, and for the next 3 years, my partner and I continued our relationship and even went on some trips together. But my parents were in the dark about the specifics of it all, which of course, the dishonesty is very wrong, but in my mind, they didn't create a safe space for me to be honest with them. I couldn't just tell them, oh hey, I'm going out for dinner and he's just going to be there. Bye, love you, XO. The conversation about us would only be brought up occasionally in those 3 years because at this point, me and him are ready to get engaged and we just need my dad's blessing. Oh boy. It would always end in an argument, feelings hurt and no blessings given. They refuse to even meet him. I'm still being patient and holding out hope that my dad will come around or something. By mid-2024, my dad hadn't properly spoken to me in like 2 years, but my mom, on the other hand, is a lot more understanding. I wouldn't say she's supportive, but understanding at least. In her words, she just wants to help me avoid an unsuccessful marriage, because in her mind, interracial marriages just don't work. But if I'm so sure about him, then she will be by my side, and if it fails, she'll be there with open arms. My parents are traditional, but she's always been the more level-headed one between them, besides the freak out the first time. Now, the catastrophe. I thought that was the catastrophe. Oh no. At the end of 2024, my sister suddenly stepped in and outright the intervention. Right. At the end of 2024, my sister suddenly stepped in and asked to meet my partner. She's my dad's favorite, and if there's one person that could sway his thoughts, it would be her. So this opportunity excited me and my partner because it finally felt like there is a light at the end of this tunnel. We have been patient, but the stress of all of this was starting to put a strain on our relationship, especially in the last 2 years. But we loved loved each other a lot and didn't want to let go no matter what, and we would always work things out with communication. My sister and him met up and talked for hours. I wasn't there, but it went well, and he left a good impression on her, and she said that she'll talk to my dad. Side note, him and I discussed beforehand that we don't need to disclose how many times we saw each other or what trips that he was involved with. We know the dishonesty and hiding was wrong, but we felt like we were entitled to that privacy in the very least. He's the type that loves honesty and just says, F whatever people think. But I just didn't believe honesty works with my parents, especially my dad, because he's someone that's very critical and will shame you for your different values and beliefs. Now, I thought things will be dandy from here on, but my sister was acting weird and distant. When I would ask her what's wrong, she would just brush it off. 3 weeks have passed and it's now New Year's. My mom sent me off to do some errands for her at a suspicious time of the day, and I really felt like something was off. I come back home and my parents and my siblings are all in the living room telling me to sit down, we need to talk. Oh, so this is like a full intervention, like setting and everything. You know, when you walk in the room and they have like the circle of chairs, and then the person who's like leading it is like, Jocelyn, will you have a seat? All the people who love you the most want to talk to you. I've never had intervention, but I have watched the show Intervention many times in my life. I used to love that show. My heart dropped. I'm sorry if this is not very detailed because honestly, that event was so traumatizing. They said they hired an investigator to find out everything about my partner and what our relationship entailed. That was a lie, of course. My parents didn't want to admit it was my sister that went through my devices and looked through all my messages and emails and ransacked my entire room. She proudly admitted to it later. And from their findings, they concluded that he's a liar, he's a gaslighter, a manipulator, and that I'm a victim in this relationship. They said they found out about all our dates and trips and are holding him accountable for it, and that I was forced to lie and do things against my will, and that he is showering me with gifts as a way to manipulate me. A lot was said and I just felt embarrassed and humiliated. It was 6 against 1 and I couldn't say anything to defend myself or him. I felt like I was being stripped naked as they went on and on about what they uncovered and whatever conclusions they drew from them. He and I are semi-long distance, so most of our talks are through text. So for them to read everything, like my vulnerable side that I only felt comfortable showing him, our intimate conversations, our arguments, where we both showed some really ugly sides of us, it just felt so invasive. They claimed he's putting a wedge between me and them and that I was ruining the entire family peace. They wanted me to feel shame, and it worked. In the end, I was given an ultimatum, and I felt like I had no other choice but to just agree with them and leave him. I was numb. They made me block him, and my sister texted him that we're over and threatened to file a restraining order if he were to come near me. He didn't answer that text. I was numb and I couldn't even cry anymore. I surrendered. I couldn't even fight anymore. At that point, I was just nodding and agreeing to whatever they said. The following days, they were so nice to me because I was a good daughter and I complied with them. And they were the heroes that saved me from a toxic man. But I'm on house arrest and I'm on close watch. I had to hand over my phone when they ask so that they make sure I never reach out to him. How old are you? 25 female. When you met him. 25 female. So by this point, you're 28 if it's been 3 years. Interesting. That's so bizarre to me. My soulmate was ripped away from me and I didn't know what to do. 2 to 3 weeks later, I woke up a little from the numbness. I was angry. I was angry at my sister for betraying my trust. I was angry at my father for being so bigoted. I was angry at all of them for invading my privacy. I was angry at the entire situation because it's not my fault that they never gave me the support and comfort to even be honest with them. I made mistakes, but I blame them for it. I cried to my mom about it and I told her, you know what? I don't care if you guys think he's a bad person. I would rather learn that on my own and be forced to leave him and regret it my entire life. They treat me like a kid. I told her I will always be angry at them for what they did. She urged me to talk to my dad again and tell him what I told her. She told me that I should proceed with marrying my partner against their wishes and accept any of my consequences. She told me that she'll be by my side. Before I talked to my dad, I sent him a letter through text. We're both non-confrontational people, so I felt like this would be a good way to express my feelings. I apologized deeply for everything. I clarified that I never meant disrespect to him or my family members. I put anger aside for this letter because anger doesn't work with a stubborn man like my dad. I tried to be vulnerable. I tried to tell him that all I want is their support and trust in me. My dad didn't give an answer to the letter, but he forwarded it to my sister, and she blew up on me by text and called me a manipulator for sending that letter. Her words were so nasty. She had never made me cry as much as she did back then. My dad came to my room afterwards to talk, or rather yell at me. I've never cried so much. Whoever that was in front of me wasn't my dad. I never knew that he could be so cruel. He threatened to leave my mom and tear this family apart if I choose to be with my partner. I'm broken and numb, and I've never felt so alone. I don't know what to do. We're gonna check out some top comments. I honestly don't even know what to say because it's so, I can't relate to it, obviously. I've never experienced that kind of culture or what they believe in. And I just feel really bad for anyone who's in that situation. Your family disapproving, like so digging their heels in their whole being. They don't want you with their partner. They're trying to tear you apart. They don't support you. They disown you if you stay with your partner. I cannot imagine being that age, living under your parents' roof with those rules, with the judgment. It's like mind-boggling to me. Mind-boggling. But maybe some of you guys have been in that situation, and I would love to hear from you, truly. Let's check out some of the top comments. Someone wrote, "Go be with your partner or you will be miserable for the rest of your life. You are an adult. Leave. If your partner loves you, he will accept you with open arms. You can make your own family." And like in my head, that's my advice. I'm like, girl, peace out. Leave. Like, what do you mean? You're an adult. Do whatever you want. But I've never been in that position. Next person wrote, "Yeah, sorry OP, but why in the living F are you still living with these people and letting them control you to this extent where they force you to block them? Are you 15? No, you're a grown-ass woman who's taken holidays with him, gone on dates, studied. Grow a spine and pull up your big girl pants. You have two very obvious choices here. Number one, live a life of newfound freedom and healthy, supportive love and happiness. Accept that his family adores you and will support you. Marry the man you love and see just how amazing your life could be. Or option two, stay miserable, controlled, abused, belittled, and constantly stuck on an impossible effort for your a-hole family and their approval. Be disrespected, keep making lousy, pathetic excuses for them, and live knowing your life isn't your own and that it's theirs. Lose the man you love and the happiness you felt. I don't know about you, but I would choose option one. I know this is blunt, but even the way you've written this entire post, you know your family are pretty much monsters. Be your own human. Make your own choice. I hope the next post I see is how happy you are with your partner and your freedom, not another pathetic post trying to excuse your family and their monstrous behavior." Wow, you really came in with your honest opinion. You really came in. You lit that up and you said blunt. Whew, that was intense. We got more. Maybe this one won't be as intense. And the next comment said, "I just read another post about a toxic relationship, that there are victims and that there are volunteers. OP was a victim for many years. It seems like she was trapped in bigotry and racism, veiled under the guise of religion and culture. Pretty much every major religious is centered around the concept of loving one another, acceptance, growth, and inclusion. It's toxic, greedy, and fixed-minded people that choose to use it as a weapon. So she's 25. That's well on her way to 30. And she still speaks like a small child about the stronghold of her family's judgment. OP, at this point, it sounds like you are volunteering to remain enmeshed. To be honest, everyone reading this knows what the right thing to do is, and so do you. But the way you speak sounds like you're just not going to break the cycle of abuse and continue to volunteer to remain under their toxic thumbs. But I truly, deeply hope that you do not. Life is so much better when we have our own." That was still blunt, but maybe a little better, nicer wording. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts. However, we have an update, a recent one, September 20th, 2025, 2 months later. Did she stay with him and leave her family home? Oh, before, we gotta hydrate. Quickly, let's hydrate. It's electrolytes in my cup. Let me know what's in yours. Cheers. I'm sure we're all dying to see what ends up happening. I just finished filming the video and I'm uploading all the footage, and my sister had mouth surgery today, a really intense, gross one, and she's in a lot of pain. So I'm gonna go and make like a surprise care basket for her and drop it off. And the best part is she thinks I'm in Toronto. So she's gonna be surprised, confused, but she's in a lot of pain and I love her so much. So I'm gonna vlog that, but the vlog is gonna be posted on my Instagram and my shorts channel. So if you wanna see it, you gotta go follow, okay? I'm so excited. What should I get her? Also, if anyone's wondering, my friend put this cute little bag together for me for my birthday. These are the electrolytes she gave me, the Bloom strawberry ones. They're super hydrating, apparently. So I am on the hydration station. I really did not expect my post to get that many replies, but I'm so grateful for all the advice you guys gave me. Thank you. When I wrote that first post, I was all emotional and depressed. So reading it now, I can even sense the "oh, poor me" tone in it. January me was probably expecting lots of sympathy or whatever, but you guys were harsh. And to be honest, I needed to hear that. July. It was July. You guys are completely right. While what my family did was evil and wrong, my life is in my hands and it's my fault for not stepping up for myself and my partner sooner. I can't keep expecting things to be done for me. I wanted to make this post just to clarify some things and update you about what's happened since January. Maybe this story was in January then and not July, but it says July. It may not be the most satisfying update, but I at least have changed a lot since then. I'm worried. I don't think she's left. First of all, I am still in contact with my partner. I don't blame you for assuming otherwise since that post was uploaded months later, so it was pretty confusing. She uploaded it in July, but this actually happened in January. Got it. When my family did the whole thing of making me block him everywhere and taking my devices and basically threatened me to not talk to him, that lasted maybe like 3 days. It was in the middle of the night. I was crying hard because I missed him, but also because I'm here alone, extremely heartbroken, just wishing someone would hold me and show some sort of real care towards me and what I'm going through. And I realized, wow, my family really doesn't give an about me. Like, at least check up on me. When they would, it was more of just making sure you know your place type of checking up. So I just reached out to him and I told him everything. There was a lot of "I told you so" from him, and I really do give him a lot of credit for putting up with my BS. My entire life, I was trained like a monkey, as one of the comments said, to be obedient for literally minimal reward. And I thought if I was going to be gentle with my approach, and I still did everything they wanted from me, I would get what I wanted in the end because I earned it, right? No. And this is not a unique experience, unfortunately. This is so common with people in many cultures because parents, for some reason, believe they are entitled to make choices for their adult children. My partner was understanding and helped me finally see the environment that I'm living in was toxic and abusive. And no amount of obedience and kindness is going to make them respect me. I've been getting therapy for months now, and shocker, it really helps. I would always question what I did wrong and how I can approach them differently to get different results. I would always question why my sister would betray me like that. I would always question why my father would tell me that I deserve to be hurt. And so many other questions, but I've let go of caring for any sort of answer now. I've let go of the idea that I need an approval from them. I've let go of ever having a civil conversation with them, and I've let go of any expectations. I still live with them, unfortunately. I don't talk with my dad and I don't talk with my sister. I keep things cordial with my mom, but I don't trust her anymore because at the end of the day, she feels the need to side with her husband. Her 60-year-old man-child of a husband that's been verbally abusing her for years and throwing tantrums anytime things don't go his way. But instead of making him aware of himself, my sister and mom just choose to give him what he wants, no matter who it hurts. I still have 2 years of education with no income, and I need this degree in my career, so it wouldn't make sense to just drop out temporarily. But I'm working on trying to find something on the side to depend on and move out as soon as I can. To everyone saying that he should just leave me, I agree, any man would have. Good thing he's an angel. Now we got some more comments. I'm scared for her. I am scared for her in this comment section. I don't think people are going to have good things to say with this update. First comment. Disappointed to read you reconnected with him, to be honest. I really hoped he had finally gotten free of you. Whatever your issues with your family, you never once stood up for him, and he is worth more than you. You and your bat family, hopefully he sees sense. Well, I knew it wasn't going to be pleasant. Next comment. I'm glad you've reconnected with your partner. It seems as though he is the only one out of the people you mentioned who's genuinely concerned with your health and care compared to your family, who only seem focused on reputation and what you, being in an interracial relationship, will look like to others. You still need to move away from your parents as soon as possible. I doubt you have heard the last of this. Next comment. The boyfriend doesn't deserve OP's BS. Next comment. I feel like you're getting a lot of crap from commenters who don't understand what long-term coercive and verbal abuse can do to someone, let alone from a culture where race and religion are so important to some, they've caused this year's conflict in your family. Well done on your growth. It sounds like you're closer and closer to happiness. Keep at it. All right, we're finishing off strong with some positivity and encouragement there. All right, that's nice. I think she needs that instead of kicking her when she's down right now. Let me know your thoughts though and experience, truly. I cannot relate to this, but I would love to understand and learn more. So let me know. I'll see you in the comment section. Stay classy out there. Stay sassy.